right, we're glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. We are delving into Postscript, where we speak to notable reporters within the Nation Media Group that are covering areas of interest, especially those that are topical at any one moment in time. And of course, this Friday, we are going to be speaking to Herbert Kamoga, a reporter who does the disseminating, gathering, I must be very specific, of stories and much of what happens in Greater Luweero region that has Bobulenzi, Luweero, and some other areas. Of course, he will be sharing with us. This particular conversation comes on the backdrop of an attack that happened on Busiika police post. A death registered there after some of the officers were overwhelmed by the assailants who made off with guns. What we know right now is that there is situation on the ground where guns have infiltrated the communities and the police is concerned. Many efforts have been made to ensure that these guns are retrieved, but cooperation between the police and the communities is something that has caused a little bit of tension, as some residents are not trusting the police on information because they think when they divulge some of this information, they will be followed up by both parties. The assailants for suspecting to be given up, and then the police for questioning how they know this information, and that is something that is pretty much very important. The facts gathered right now indicate that the assailants on that particular attack on Busiika were about 7 and came from 3 different directions. Apparently 2 in front and the other behind, were armed with a pistol and guns. The events followed one that had come just 3 months ago. We shall be bringing you up to speed with the latest in terms of what was covered there as we go into the nitty-gritty of this particular conversation. Let's have that story first.
Yesterday on 31st October 2022, at around 19:25 hours, one of our stations known as Busiika in Luweero district was attacked. A group of about 5 armed men came and attacked our personnel who were on duty, and in the scuffle they managed to shoot. In the shootout they killed 2 of our staff, and they injured another 2 who are undergoing treatment as we talk, and also 1 other civilian was injured in the shootout. In the attack, these attackers managed to rob 2 guns from our personnel. However, they dropped other exhibits which we have already collected and gathered, and we have handed them over to the forensics department, which is going to carry on to the investigations using those exhibits that we have recovered at the scene. Quite a number of exhibits have been recovered, and we know we shall have to get them. Police, we have already embarked on the investigations into the matter, and I would like to inform you that we already have crews, and we call upon the community to be calm, but to be vigilant as well. Otherwise, the situation is back into control. During this attack, there was also vandalism of the police station and arson. So since the police station was burnt, we are trying to get back together to put some things, a few issues together, then we resume our duties as the station.
Our fathers died, our grandparents died during 80. Now we don't want to experience the same. No, want something to be done. We have been blaming each other there and there. Now, the patrol had enough fuel. It's Mayor who labored to buy fuel. The motorcycle of this station, it cannot even chase a hunter. Now you promise that you are offering the best service to the state. A lot of money is spent in security. Why don't we say patrol here? Whichever is here is coming from away. We want to see the check Busiika. It should be having a station patrol because it is developing and much is needed.
speaking there, and of course expressing profound dismay at the fact that a huge security budget doesn't see some of these resources go down to the communities to be able to provide security for Ugandans. We are now joined by Herbert Kamoga, the reporter with Nation Media Group, who covers Greater Luweero District, to bring us up to speed with what's happening. A very good morning, Herbert.
A very good morning, Chris.
My first time to see you. I've seen and followed your reports. Pretty much good work. What's the situation on the ground?
Currently, police is ongoing with its investigations. Of course, they're trying to hunt down the assailants. Yeah. And remember, there are 2 guns that were robbed, so it is a security threat. They need to do everything they can to make sure that they get these guns.
That's right. The guns were taken, no doubt about that. Is there a sustained campaign to steal guns from the security services by groups of people? How many guns, for example, have been known to be within the communities there?
For example, in a period of only 4 months, there are 4 guns which have been taken now from security personnel. And if you can remember, on the 25th of July, there was another attack.
There was another attack.
Machete-wielding men attacked police officers on duty. They were on a roadblock at the place is called Chiwumpa, along Kampala-Gulu Highway. So they grabbed the guns, they stabbed the officers, and they went off with 2 guns. And till now, those guns are not yet recovered.
They're not recovered.
There are now 4 guns which are missing, and you know what it means.
Yeah, 4 guns missing from, especially taken from security forces, is something that speaks of the fact that these guys who are mounting these attacks are either trained persons. Wielding machetes can give the impression that perhaps you're not a trained person to use the guns, but the ability to know that you can attack a person who has a gun using a machete means you can also use the gun. Do you think this is a very sustained campaign, either a guerrilla, rebel group, or these are wayward assailants?
I may not be specific enough to tell what really their campaign is, but to give you the history of the area, you know very well that Luweero it was the habitat for the NRA war, which brought in this government into power. And you know how the war started. They started by attacking the police barracks, I mean military barracks, and they went off with guns. So residents in this area, they could bring similarities of how these attacks are related to attacks of then. So they feel maybe something could be related to that.
How is the state of collaboration between the police, security forces and journalists in ensuring that some of these stories are brought to the front?
I must say that police has tried really so hard to give out this information, but as you know, there's that information that you really want, but they cannot give it to you. Yeah, because maybe they feel it is security conscious, it's a security matter, and they are not supposed to give that information. But we have been in good terms with the acting police spokesperson, that's ASP Patrick, and he has been giving us information, and he has been accessible. That's the credit I can give to him.
All right. Yesterday we were interviewing one of the resident district commissioners in the country, specifically the deputy resident commissioner for Mukono, Henry Chitambula, and he spoke of the fact that 60% of the responsibility to halt such attacks and crime within the communities, especially within the central region, rests with the community. His thinking was that the communities are sensitized enough to be able to divulge information on who the assailants are, whether they've seen guns in houses, in shops, or in bars, whatever. Do you think it's a strategy that is either working pretty well, or if it isn't working, can it work? Are the people in Luweero sensitized enough to be able to come up with information on who is hiding a gun or who is holding one?
Just yesterday, there was a security meeting between, it was headed by the RDC, the RPC, then the district police commander, sensitizing the community about how they are supposed to give this information. If they know anything that may help police in their investigations, they should volunteer that information. But people are scared. the state they are living in, they are scared now. They feel maybe if they give out this information, they may not have the security, that they may not get the protection from police, because we've had kidnaps, people are being kidnapped. So the fear even to come out and give this information voluntarily, because they are not sure whether they will be protected at the end of the day after giving this information. So many of them are hesitant. They don't want to come out and give this information because they know police will come for them.
Okay, that's interesting, and of course it's something that will hamper efforts by the security to bring to book some of these people. When I was watching the story of the latest attack on Busiika police post, we saw the police transferring some of the items from the post, and when the officer in charge, no, should have been the spokesperson, was asked why this was happening, he insisted they were only transferring case files to another police station, and yet physically we could see the truck loading just about everything, the chairs, the covers, the counters. It was so. Right now what we have is an empty station, meaning within that jurisdiction there is no police.
Those who watched the story, they saw I stood in the room where police was operating, and I clearly showed
everything had been taken away.
Everything was taken away. It was transferred from Busiika to another station called,
how far?
I think it's about 2 to 3 kilometers away from Busiika to Bugema.
Distance.
Yeah, it's a significant distance, and it's difficult now for people to access police, to take their cases there, to go and report cases. So people are living in fear.
What is the explanation there for police?
Police said they are, because after the attack, this station was torched and it was set ablaze, so everything was burnt. The case files and most of the things were burnt. So they are saying they are reorganizing themselves, and for now they are transferring the station to Bugema just temporarily, and after a certain period they will be able to come back. But I have information that there is a police station which is being built within Busiika by the local community, and maybe some other people are helping in to build a police station. So they are expediting the process of finishing it so that they can come back and serve the community.
You've interacted severally with the security apparatus within the communities there. Who is responsible for ensuring that the defense structures for the residents are in place and working, and that the coordination is swift and fluid? For example, DISO, there is GISO, and then I don't know whether LISO, PISO. Who is the person?
I would also say there is also VISO, VIG. I think
interesting.
The structure is the mandate lies within the ELS1 chairpersons. The ELS1 chairperson, they are doing most of the responsibility of ensuring that information is shared. In case there is anything, they are supposed to report to higher authorities. So there was one chairman, and maybe the PISOs and GISOs, they are also helping.
What is the culture of the people? What is the mood among the people in Luwero, given the fact that it was the bedrock for the National Resistance Army's guerrilla war, when it comes to guns, violence, and how fast they respond when attacks like these happen? Are they people who have known war and know how to react quickly, or they are despondent like any other society or community in another part of the country?
You will realize that a bigger population now is of the young people who never experienced the war. So when this violent attack comes, of course, they are the first to run away. But still, there are those the elderly, those who experienced the war, and they are able to maybe not to rush. For example, when this attack happened, I was told that ELS1 chairperson even picked a stone and threw to the attackers. Wow. And I was surprised, like, this guy couldn't fear for himself. For his life. So there are those who feel they are courageous enough. They have heard of those guns and they are now used. They are taking it as something usual.
Okay. All right, let's now delve into your work as a journalist for Nation Media Group. We've always asked this question. Our ability to do the job pretty well, especially in circumstances like these, is very challenging. What are your challenges as one who reports on matters of security where the potential for violence is always lingering?
First of all, the biggest challenge is your safety as a journalist.
Yeah.
What I do, I mind about my safety wherever I'm approaching a story that involves violence. I make sure that wherever I am, the position I'm standing in to get these pictures, I must be safe enough because I cannot tell a story when I'm
when you're dead.
when I'm dead. So
sure, it's a
safety first. Another challenge is information, accessing information, especially on security.
Yeah.
At times it's difficult.
Very difficult.
The people are not willing to give this information. There's that information that you feel would be crucial for you, but the security is not willing to give you the information. For example, I can just go for another thing. When late Jakana Naduli, the son to Abdul Naduli, there was violence that erupted at the burial. So when I went to this police officer asking him to comment about the violence, he said, no, I'm not going to comment about that. My seniors issued a statement and I feel... And I said,
sufficient?
A statement is issued, but he has not commented. So he said, no, I cannot. So information is a bit difficult to access, especially in these matters.
When you hit the snag and you're unable to get the information you want, where does that leave you?
Sometimes you have to drop the story because if you don't have enough information, you cannot run hearsay.
That's right.
Yeah, you need to drop it and do other things, or you try other ways. Like if you have other sources, you can rely on them and be able to execute a story. All
right, this one is a little bit off your docket. You're into security, but let me ask you: communities there, you interact with the people very much. What are their most visible challenges as communities, away from the threat of attacks that are, well, dotted? When you look at the communities there, what are they yearning for?
I don't know if I will answer you rightly.
No, you don't. I would say your observation is key.
Their biggest fear, their biggest worry is about land security.
Land security.
Yeah. And if you visit the office of the RDC on a daily basis, you find people flocking the office. Many in queues, long queues, waiting to see the RDC to put their matters to them. So land is the biggest challenge to the rural population.
Land grabbers or simple conflict on communal misunderstandings? Of course, land grabbing,
because there are people who they claim the Abanenemo government. they tend to come and like buy huge chunks of land and they start chasing off people. These are bona fide occupants. They chase them away.
All right, finally, time is not our best ally. Just tell us what the police has told you on the way forward in terms of investigations on this particular attack and the rest that happened previously.
Police is still doing their investigations, and yesterday when they were engaging the community on matters of volunteering information, they assured the community that their presence will remain in Busiika, given nevertheless that the police station was shifted to another location. But they assured the community that security is guaranteed. And I don't know if they will get this gun very soon, because even the one which was the previous attacks have never been. Those were robbed recovered in July. They are not yet recovered.
All right, Herbert Kamoga, thank you very much for the perspective on the situation in Luero and the greater Luero area and how you are covering this particular story. We are emboldened by the information that you have offered us, and I hope out there, those that are watching and listening, you know exactly what is on the ground in this area. That will do it for Postscript this Friday. We'll take a break, and when we return, my man Stephen Mbide Omfefesi Wechuga will be speaking to the Minister of State in charge of economic monitoring, Beatrice Akello Okori, on ensuring effective monitoring of service delivery for, of course, results in as far as how government is doing its job. Let's keep it here on Morning at NTV. We'll be right back after the break.